So hello students, welcome back to revision time. I hope you all are good. So today I am starting with the chapter Control and Coordination, that is chapter number 7 of class 10. So now let us start. So our human body, it is capable of performing so many functions, and we need to control our movements and coordinate with our actions. So for this we have a coordination system. In human beings we have hormonal coordination system, and we have a nervous system. So today I am going to first start with the nervous system. So nervous system, it is composed of nerves which are made up of nerve cells, or they are also known as neurons. Neurons are the longest cells of the human body. So neurons, they are located in our sense organs like inner ear, nose, tongue, skin, etc. So we have several receptors in our sense organs, such as phonoreceptor, which is in the ear, photoreceptor in the eyes, thermoreceptor in the skin, olfactory receptor in the nose, and gustatory receptors in the tongue. So here we have the diagram of a nerve cell, in which we have dendrites, we have cell body with the nucleus, we have myelin sheath, which is the outer covering of the axon. These are the parts of the axon, and this upper part, it is a cell body with the nucleus. So we have a node of Renwire, we have Schwann cells, and we have nerve endings, or they are also known as the synaptic nodes. So now what happens? The information, it is acquired at the dendrite tip, and this information, it sets up a chemical reaction and generates the electrical impulse. Now what is the fate of this electrical impulse? This impulse from the dendrite, it go towards the cell body, then towards the axon, and it releases the chemicals, and the chemicals, they cross the synapse. So now what is a synapse? Synapse, it is a joining point of the nerve endings of first neuron and the dendrites of the second neuron. For example, these are three neurons. Here these are the nerve endings, and this is the dendrite, that is a cell body of the second neuron. So this space here, it is a synapse, right? That is why these nodes here, they are also known as the synaptic nodes. So the chemicals, they cross the synaptic nodes and they go towards the dendrite of the next neuron, and the cycle, it goes. It is a chain type of process. So nervous system of human body, we can divide it into three parts. So these are the branches of the nervous system, not the types of nervous system. These all three are present in the human beings. So first we have PNS, that is the peripheral nervous system, CNS, that is the central nervous system, and ANS, which is the autonomous nervous system. So peripheral nervous system, it is composed of the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves. Cranial nerves, they are coming from the brains, and spinal nerves from the spinal cord. Central nervous system, it consists of the brain and spinal cord. And autonomous nervous system, it is of two branches, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic nervous system, it controls the body during the emergency, and parasympathetic nervous system, it normalizes the body after the emergency situation. So next we have reflex actions. So we are very familiar with this term. These are the sudden actions in response to something in the environment. So reflex actions, they are managed by the spinal cords primarily, but afterwards the impulse also reaches to the brain. So for the mechanism of reflex action, we have a reflex arc, that is the route followed by the nerve impulse to carry over the reflex actions. So it has several components. First we have is the receptor organ, sensory nerve or neuron. Then we have spinal cord. Then we have connector neuron or the relay neuron, motor nerve, and effector organ. So let us see how the reflex arc, it works. So this is the receptor here first. First of all, we get the stimuli. Stimuli is anything which initiates a process, right? So we get a stimuli. For example, let us take the very classic and basic example of touching a hot pan and taking back our hand, right? So in the skin we have thermoreceptor, right? So on the receptor, when we touch the hot end, we get a stimuli. So the nerve impulse is generated there. This nerve impulse, it will be carried by this sensory nerve having the sensory neuron towards the spinal cord, and we have this relay neuron here. This neuron, it is connecting the sensory nerve with the motor nerve, right? Then the nerve impulse after reaching the spinal cord will come back to the effector organ through a motor nerve. So what is the effector organ here? It is the muscle of our arm, right? So effector or when the nerve impulse, it will reach the effector organ, that is our muscles. The muscles, they will pull our hands back, right? So this is the route of the nerve impulse in the reflex arc. From receptor, it goes to the sensory nerve, to the through the relay neuron to the motor nerve, and ultimately to the effector organ. So next very important part, we have a human brain. So there are three major parts of human brain, that is forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. So this is the diagram of a human brain here. So it is, seems to be very complex, but believe me, it is really simple to draw it. If you want a draw with me video, do mention in the comment section. So here we have, first of all, we have this spinal cord. In the forebrain, we have the cerebrum. Here, this is the cerebrum, this complete arc. And we have cranium. Cranium is the skull part of the brain, right? The hard part. Then we have midbrain. This is the midbrain. So midbrain is having the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. Then we have the hindbrain. Hindbrain, it is having the cerebellum, and it is having the pons. It is having the medulla oblongata. These are the three parts here, and these are situated somewhat here only, right? So let us see what are the functions. Cerebrum first, it is the largest part having two hemispheres that are known as cerebral hemispheres. So it is controlling the voluntary motor actions, right? And this is the place for the learning and the memory. Hypothalamus, it is situated at the base of cerebrum. It is responsible for controlling our circadian rhythms, that is the sleep-wake cycle of our body, right? So it also controls the urge of eating and drinking. And next is cerebellum. It is present below the cerebrum, and it coordinates the motor functions, and it is also controlling the balance of our body and the posture of our body, right? Medulla oblongata, it is present in the stem of the brain, and it is controlling the involuntary functions and the involuntary actions like vomiting, blood pressure, right? So the voluntary parts were controlled by cerebrum and involuntary by the medulla oblongata. Pons, it connects the impulses between the cerebellum and the spinal cord and the higher brain parts, right? So this was all about the nervous system. Next we have is the endocrine system, which I will cover in the next lecture. Do press the bell icon for the notifications. If you like the video, do like, share, comment and subscribe. Thank you.